So the Greeks are getting a second bailout. I guess they should stop calling it a bailout and call it a loan, because bailouts usually you have to pay it back, but this I'm sure they should pay it back, and they might be intending to pay it back, so they should call it a loan, second loan, and as opposed to bailout where you're giving money from it keeps. Bailout a loan is, you get this money on certain interest to keep it current value and so on, and you have to repay it. Now, I think just as how Europe, the rest of Europe, Germany and the others, they were concentrating on integration and the debt. And so I think the Greeks fudged their papers to be included in the integration, but they are also concentrated in debt just like Europe. And this is a mistake they're making. The debt is not something static or something that you could handle except in full employment or a high employment rate, a low unemployment rate, high employment rate of about 95 to 96%, and a low unemployment of about 4%. It's only when people are working and you're getting taxes, because this is the way the government is going to pay back these loans, these bailout loans, is by getting more money in than they're spending, and so they could pay down the debt. I mean, there's a similarity between businesses and family and the government here, but not all illustrations of the family budget and the business budget is the same with the government. So I think the Greeks need to understand that when the people are getting in the street and shouting for the austerity plan while unemployed is crazy. As a matter of fact, some people like to lay off. They say, well, we can't afford it, so we're going to lay off this year. Let me use the illustration. They previously they were having like $200 in the budget. In the revenue, $200. But for some reason, this year it comes down to $125. So they say, you know what? We have to cut out $75 worth of employment just to balance the budget. And it sounds good, to balance the budget. But you know what's going to happen? You have to be paying these people unemployment. Some of them going to get crazy. Some of them going to do stuff, more crime, this, that. So what you end up having is you end up having less money now again. So you have to keep laying off until you just you just have your economy collapse. Whereas in my view, if they had said, you know what we can do, we're going to keep the $200 expenditure, all right, although we had just $125, and what we can do is, people, you need to cut back on your benefits and perhaps give us a little more so we could cover this thing and bring it back to $200, because we love you and we really want you to be working. Now, when this is understood and everybody's working, and you could now, as the private sector begin to get confidence and people start open businesses and other things like that, then that money that you were spending on unemployment and employing, you could go to pay down your debt. So it's not something by itself. You have to concentrate on employment and get a very strict tax regime. No tax planning this year. Some of these credits we have to take them back. This, that. And I think that if I'm making $200 a month, and say like my disposable income is say $200, that is after I paid all my bills, this money I could do discretionary things with. I could go for a trip, I could go and do a facelift, I could go and get my boy extended or supersized, whatever. You see what I'm saying? But I could say, you know what, if because of the hard times and I should be laid off by the boss, keep him, and my disposable come now from 200 to say 150, I should be happy that I have 150 in disposable income and working, as opposed to say, nah, I want my $200 and the fellow say, bye, you got to go. So I'm getting some unemployment, but that is just a fraction of what you work for, and therefore it's not going to be able to give you that disposable income that you had. In fact, you might be in the red and negative sort of territory. So this is what the Greeks have to do. The Greeks have to understand exactly how they're going to pay back this money, and get jobs going, do infrastructure, fix the roads, the bridges, the infrastructure, refurbish, break down a whole area and rebuild it and stuff like that. Just create jobs. You got to keep spending. And that's the only way you're going to be able to do it.